Okay, Steve, we just got done talking about tactic number 9 of creating urgency and overcoming buyer reluctance. Let's get into tactic number 10 of expanding the options and creative financing.
Right. Real estate comes down to one word ultimately. If something's going to sell, it's because it's affordable.
Yeah.
Right? If a buyer cannot afford to buy a property, a seller can't sell the property. Right? So it all comes down to that.
One more thing with affordability is that if you ever want to know whether a shift is coming in a market or not, watch wage growth. Watch wage growth for people, and if wage growth is less than the affordability of homes, so home prices are increasing faster than wage growth is, that's your signs that a shift is coming at some point. You'll never know when, but to your point of affordability drives everything in the real estate industry, that's your sign of when that market's going to shift, because it can only go on for so long.
Right.
Before it outgrows our wages that we're making to afford them.
This chapter is all about creative financing, and really when we talk about that, there's a couple of different parties in the transaction, right? There are things that a seller can do to help sell their property. There's things that a buyer might be able to do to be able to afford to buy that property, and there's some things that a lender could do as well.
Absolutely.
At the start of this chapter, I wrote, go to page 219, all right? That's about putting together your financial team, right? The financing industry, the lending industry, there's so many changes. I was speaking with a lender here not too long ago, and they showed me these summary books of changes, and each one of them was like 1.5 inches thick, and he had 3 of them, right?
Yeah.
And that's just like a synopsis, right? So what we need is a strong financial team that works with us to help close these deals. And you need to know who's on that team for you.
Absolutely. Steve, you want me to give some options of creative things sellers can do to sell their home?
Sure.
Sure. So if you're a seller, if you're working with a seller, we have some listed out here from the book. Creative things you can do to sell your house is the seller can have seller contributions, seller funded permanent buy down, seller funded temporary buy down, meaning points or anything like that, owner financing, land contract or for deed. The seller holds a second back. There's lease options, a lease purchase, seller assisted down payment, and a wraparound mortgage are just some that they've called out. But if you have a seller and it's tricky getting it sold traditionally, go to some of these models, look it up in the book, and I think it's figure 50.
Yeah, great stuff. 200, page 200 in your book.
Yeah.
Awesome. So what you want to do is commit to excellence. Understand the basics, learn the basics, and build the financial team. Put the experts around you that can help your clients succeed.